We are now joined by our NASCAR Cup Series pole winner here at Nashville Superspeedway. That's Chase Briscoe, driver of the number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. If you have a question for Chase, please raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. But first, Chase, this is your second straight pole. Just kind of take us through your lap out there. 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it was, I guess it was a good enough lap. Alan Cavanna was asking me right before I went out, what's it take to run a perfect lap here? And I said, I don't know. I think the best I've ever qualified here is like 20th. So, yeah, it was a surprise. I felt like it was a good lap. I definitely felt like I left a little bit on the table, but I just felt like it was a smooth, clean lap, and I felt like it was for sure going to be, top 5 lap. So it was surprised, honestly, that it was as fast as it was. So, yeah, it's nice to start on the pole 2 weeks in a row. Hopefully we can do a little bit better, tomorrow than we did last week. But yeah, certainly it's, this track is very, very track position dependent. So to be able to start on the pole is going to be a huge advantage for us, and hopefully we can, hold that advantage.
Perfect. We'll go ahead and open it up now. Questions? All right.
Chase, before we talk about racing, did you get to fish with Kevin Van Dam? And which lake did you fish? Did you catch anything?
Yeah, we actually went to Luke Bryan's place, which was ridiculous. Just to fish with Kevin Van Dam, I was telling people it's like playing catch with Tom Brady. I mean, he's literally the greatest of all time, right? So to be able to go fish with Kevin, and obviously with the Bass Pro connection, it's just super, super cool. We probably caught, 60 to 70 something fish, and a couple 7-pounders, which was personal best for me. So it was just a super, super cool day. And, hopefully can fish with Kevin a lot more. I told him that hopefully I didn't use all my luck up on Thursday and Friday fishing with him. But so far it seems to still be there.
Is it all bass?
Yeah, all bass, yeah. Yeah, I don't think he says he don't fish for much else. I was Luke Bryan's, personal property, yeah.
We got a Dustin and then Steven.
Dustin, let me know, Chase, statistically, this isn't one of your best tracks. So how did you feel about the car today in race trim as well?
Yeah, I thought my car in race trim could have been better for sure. I know that I was behind the 9, the 11, and the 45 was behind me. The 11 was definitely better than me, on the long run specifically. But I thought my car was, a top 10 car. I didn't think it was definitely good enough to win per se, at least if we had a race today, right? We definitely needed to make some adjustments on it. But it was at least in the mix. I needed to be a little bit better to be, what the 11 was, or even the 12 or the 45. So hopefully, that track possession will help that. And also, I know that we'll make our car better. It's just, this has been a place that's not been great to me. I kind of just don't fully quite know what I need. I just am always searching here, and, talking to Denny even after practice, I felt like I learned some stuff. So hopefully, I can put it all together tomorrow.
Steven Toronto, CBS Sports. Chase, new track record. There were a number of other drivers who set the track record as well. This race is a couple weeks earlier than we've traditionally been coming to Nashville since it came back on the schedule. Is it a matter of temperatures, or what's gone into the higher speeds we saw here in practice and qualifying?
Yeah, I mean, every year the teams get better, so that's one reason, right? And I don't know if the left side the tires were any different. I have no idea, but I definitely think that, the weather being a little bit cooler, I don't remember ever qualifying this late here either, so I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I think a lot of it's just the teams get better and better, and they understand, what they need to do to make their cars faster. And I don't know how much the track record was before, but certainly seems like almost everywhere we go anymore, we're constantly getting a little bit faster between, car setup and, even the engines, right? They're constantly gaining a couple horsepower every single time we go back. So I think it's just a multitude of things.
And you mentioned the left side tire. I believe this is the same left side compound you guys ran at Kansas. Is that correct? Or?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I just get in and drive it.
All right.
Any final questions for Chase? All right, we'll end right here with Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. So you've done this now for a few years at this level. You've been at this track. So is it just about concrete tracks? Because obviously you run well at Bristol. I know it's different, but what is the thing that's kind of spinning your head a little bit in the comfort level and getting what you want and how you want it here?
Yeah, I think, truthfully, this place is one of those places where your car is so important, just from a car capability. And in the past year, truthfully, my car's just not been very good. It's just on top of the racetrack, not doing what you want it to do. And, I say it all the time, but Harvick used to always talk about how you can't drive a slow car fast. And, I mean, I came here today, and like first lap of practice was the best driving car I've ever had in my life here. Like the thing just drives better, has more grip, turns better, goes faster, and it just makes my job way easier. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's a lot of it is just for whatever reason, you know, at SHR, like we just struggled really, really bad here, and you know, this is one of those tracks I feel like you can't really get a whole lot more out of it. Like just whatever it is what it is. And I mean, you might be able to pick up a couple positions, but you're not going to go from a 25th place car to all of a sudden leading the race. So it just all comes down to car at this level, you know, to a certain extent. And I'm in, you know, arguably one of the best cars every single weekend. So it just makes my job a lot easier.
And can you give me a sense of like, you talked about, hey, for as well as you qualified today, you feel like you're behind a little bit some other cars in race pace. What you do today, tonight, or is that more up to James and you let him handle it, or what's the process in making this car even better race car for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll just tell him, you know, typically where I feel like I'm losing time, and a lot of the time, you know, where I think I'm losing time is not even where I'm losing the most time. And, you know, they'll be like, well, I think we need to look at this and work on that. So, you know, between James and the engineers and myself looking at data, you know, we're trying to understand, okay, where is the best car better than us at, and what do we need to do different to make our car better there? And, you know, James and the 19 team have a pretty good understanding of kind of every week what they need to do, you know, from Saturday to Sunday. Obviously, that changes based on where you qualify in your track position. You know, last week was a great example. We set our car up to be up front kind of all day long, and when you have a bad pit stop, you know, it puts you behind, and your car doesn't drive very good back there. So, you know, for us, after last week, I don't know if we'll go full-blown for, you know, the clean air setup. But definitely, you know, it really comes down to James and the engineers. I'll give them kind of my input on what I think I need out of the car, but they've been doing it way longer than I have and have a pretty good understanding of typically what I need.
You've talked about how these cars drive differently and so much better than what you've driven, especially these bigger tracks. And I know that the preparation in one sense is kind of the same week to week in some of the things you do, but now that you have a better car that allows you to do certain things, how does that impact what you're looking at or thinking about as you prepare for each event? And how did it might have impacted as you did preparation for this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, one thing is just the team itself is so much better prepared at like understanding, you know, going into the weekend, like here's the things you need to look at. And they just simplify my life a lot. You know, I'm not looking at 100 different things. It's here's 10 things you need to focus on going into this week, and here's how to drive the car this week. This should be the perfect way to drive it, right? And then, you know, for me, I can go and look at, you know, what the other best cars are doing, where in the past I can go look at the best cars, but my car's not going to do that, so it's kind of irrelevant. Where now, I think the biggest thing for me these last couple weeks is finally just understanding, you know, how hard I can push this car and what it's absolutely like able to take. Because the first, you know, 10 races of the year, I would always underdrive in qualifying because the car's capability was so much greater than anything I've ever ran. Where now I'm finally getting to the other side of it, where I feel like even today, I didn't feel like I got 100% potential out of it, but I felt like I was at least at 95%, where early in the year I was at 80%. So it's just, you know, all those things coming together have made it where the results have been way, way better. Yeah.
Chase, thanks so much for coming in,
Yeah,
and
thank
good luck
you guys.
tomorrow.
Appreciate it.